I'd be very interested to see where we are, like you said, in 2 years. What's your 3-year plan? Oh, um, have a good job, be dodging robots left and right, trying to stay alive during the apocalypse. Maybe there, so we'll see. But I could be
Yeah.
wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. So hopefully I am wrong about the AI taking
Well,
over.
so far people are catching on to it because we were just at a conference last week and Neil Patel was speaking and he was, he manages marketing across every platform you could possibly imagine and has huge teams of analysts tracking this. And he was saying that what they've found is HAI is the way to go. It's the human infused AI, and that's what's actually
Hmm.
converting best when you create a video, when you create copy, when you create anything is when it's actually kind of fused between human and AI. And I thought that was really interesting because it's not taking over the world yet. There's still better conversion when human is infused. So
Right.
so,
Let's keep it that way. Hopefully.
yeah.
I'm also curious to see what the AI shopping assistants and how that impacts everything. Because I mean, there are the doomsayers who will tell you that keywords are going away. I don't think keywords are going anywhere anytime soon, but there are people who like to say that. I'm like, I feel like Amazon's giving up a lot of revenue if they do that.
Right. I was one of them.
Yeah, it's amazing if you think about, like, the number of people that are shopping with, like, Alexa and stuff now and how that's gonna change things over time because it's more of a, I mean, they were talking at that conference too about how, in terms of search, on across all marketplaces, across Google, across Amazon, if you look, the highest volume of searches coming from 3 words or above now, and it's more because people are searching queries or questions than they are keywords nowadays. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think keywords will ever go away, but it'll be interesting to see how they're being searched and how that will change over time.
Yeah. And so I think we kind of hedged our bets with leaving Launch GPT in there. So if you're like Pete and you fear the machines taking over, you could stick to the
Right.
manual listing builder. But if you're not afraid of the machines, you can use the Launch GPT, and then you can find a middle ground between them.
Right. And we talked. I will say I was one of the keyword doomers. I thought keywords, but once Rufus came out, I was like, it's done. Why would anybody search on regular on Amazon? Why would you not just type in Rufus? I need the best product that does this, that, and this. Um, but it's funny how the keywords kind of evolve and they kind of maybe not necessarily take on new roles, but they're definitely not going away anytime soon. Um,
Yeah,
so
especially when the number one Google search associated with Rufus is how do I turn Rufus off?
right,
So
which is very funny.
Rufus is horrible to this point.
Yeah,
Like I've told it a
yeah,
few times, like this is lame.
yeah. This is no bueno. But speaking of kind of evolving and adapting and new things that come out every day with Amazon and these AI shopping assistants, and not even just Amazon, but eventually as you start to branch out into maybe other e-commerce tools and stuff like that, or e-commerce platforms, how do you at Viral, how do you keep up with all these different things that Amazon puts out, and how do you keep up with the market really, and how do you continue? How do you guys approach updating your softwares and coming out with new things at Viral?
yeah, I mean, very carefully, because I feel like there's a part of it where you're kind of threading a needle while you're, I don't even know, riding a horse or something, because it feels like there's so much that happens very quickly. And I think that there are people who are, they overreact to it. And so the last thing that I want to do is create a platform that's going to overcomplicate things and add a lot of complexity that doesn't need to be there. So I think our first goal is to provide the simplest experience possible with getting you the information you need when you need it rather than giving you additional information that might not be helpful for Rufus for right now. Like example, I mean, I'm going to tell you how to optimize for Rufus, but at the same time, like I'm not entirely sure how viable that will be next week. So I'd rather figure out exactly how that works so we can stick to our reputation of being accurate with the data.
Right. Right. Steph has said a couple times now, you guys are really accurate, and I believe it because I see it too. So, um,
It is. Anytime you go to, some of your competitors and the numbers are way off, you can always kind of go to Viral and figure out what their real deal is.
right.
The only bummer is that it does kind of limit you to the top 40. But in a lot of respects, like I always tell people, 90% of the time, the top 40 are all that really matter anyway,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah. Sometimes you get down to 39 and 40 and there's like $100 in sales. And it's like, what do I care about these guys? I want to look at the other, the bigger picture, depending on the category, depending on what you type in, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like a sort of an outlier use for an outlier use for product discovery, because if you wanted to really look at, like, what sellers are just starting out that might not have their foothold in the market but are coming up and they have like solid reviews, I think you could set the filters to find those brands in a specific category
Right.
and zero in on them.
Right.
I like those too, especially when we get to a new to Amazon brand, right? And they want a projection of sales. That's always super important to be able to go, okay, well, we're not going to do the same as, the top seller in the category day one. So who launched recently? Your software gives that date too, which a lot of software don't. And I feel like that's such a miss because the launch date is so important to really kind of see who is really your competitor in the marketplace and who are the stars that are coming up and like how can we mimic what they're doing. And I feel like you guys just get this straight valid data on that.